Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be cooking this amazing beef stew in the Ninja slow cooker. Let's go. And here is all our ingredients. We're going to be using a kilogram of diced beef, or 2 pounds of diced beef. We've got some all-purpose flour or plain flour. We're going to be using some salt, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, some olive oil, 1 white onion. We're going to be using a cup of dry red wine, which is there. I've got a Cabernet Sauvignon there. And we're going to be using 3 stalks of celery chopped up. We're going to be having 4 medium carrots. We've got half a kilogram of new potatoes. We're going to be chopping those in half. 3 cloves of garlic, which we're going to grate. 4 cups of beef stock. So I've got some beef cubes. We've been making stock, about 200 millilitres worth. We're going to be using a little bit of cornstarch if we need to thicken the stew. A little bit of water. So let's get on with it. So luckily enough, we have a sauté function on the Ninja slow cooker. So we're actually going to brown the mince and the onions off before we actually add all the ingredients and put it on the slow cook mode. You don't have to do that if you don't have a sauté function and you just want to just chuck everything in. That's absolutely fine, but we're going to do this. And I'm going to take 1/4 cup of plain flour, all-purpose flour. We're going to add a little bit of black pepper, a little tiny bit of salt, and then we're going to add the beef into the mixing bowl. Now if you don't have a sauté function on your slow cooker and you just want to put all the ingredients into the slow cooker, that is absolutely fine, you can do that. But we're going to do it this way today because we do have the sauté function on the Ninja slow cooker. We're going to add the next packet of diced beef, and in goes the last packet. Now I've used quite lean beef here. It's 3% fat content because my family are quite fussy when it comes to the fat content. They're all coming over tonight for a meal, so this is for them. And we're just going to give it a bit of a mix. Stir in all of the flour and give it a little coating all the way around. And you should be left with something looking a bit like that. So now we're going to get the slow cooker fired up on the sauté mode and we're going to brown off this beef. Okay, so we're going to put the slow cooker onto sauté mode and we're going to put it on high and push start. That's now going to heat up and I'm going to put some olive oil in there, ready for the beef. So the sauté mode is up to temperature and it's now time to stick that beef into the Ninja slow cooker. There we go. You can hear that sizzling away. Break it up a bit, give it a good old mix around. This is the spoon that comes with the Ninja slow cooker. And all we're going to be doing is just searing this a little bit before we add all of the other ingredients and put it onto the slow cook mode. You could do this in a frying pan, or as I said, you could just chuck all the ingredients in and just go for the slow cook function, but I do find that it tastes a slightly bit better if you sear the meat beforehand. So it's looking pretty good. Starting to brown nicely. All the bits of diced beef have started to separate from each other. They all sort of congeal together when they've got the flour on them, but they soon start to separate once they're cooked. And that's a pretty good searing. What we're going to do now is add in the onions. Here we go. And we'll give it all a jolly good stir. My family are really looking forward to this beef stew tonight. First time I've cooked it in this Ninja slow cooker. We're going to be cooking it on low for about 7 hours, but what you should do is around the 6-hour mark, just get a fork and try a bit of beef and see if it sort of falls apart. If it does, you know it's cooked. We may have to put some cornstarch in at the end if it is a little bit too runny, just to thicken it up a bit. But we'll find out later. So I'm pretty pleased with that at the moment. What we're going to do is turn off the slow cooker now, the saute function, and we're going to start adding in the rest of the ingredients, and then we'll get it onto the slow cook mode. And I'm off to watch the Grand Prix while this does its magic. So in this saucepan here, I have the potatoes, the leek, and the carrots. Just going to chuck the whole lot in. There we go. I've got the 4 cups of beef stock. Works out about a litre of stock. I'm going to chuck all of that in. Lovely. We have the garlic. That can go in too. And then we have my favourite bit, the red wine. As I said, I'm using a cab sav for this. We're going to be using 1 cup, which is about 250 millilitres. Don't worry, all the alcohol will evaporate during the cooking cycle. I may actually have a glass while I'm watching the Grand Prix. Okay, so now we're just going to give the whole thing a good old stir together. Let's get it all coated. There we go, looking good. Now people do say you shouldn't stir during the slow cook cycle, but around 3-hour mark I will actually give it a bit of a stir just to make sure. There we are. Happy with that. So here we are. We're going to turn on the slow cooker. It's on the slow cook function already. We're going to be putting it on to low, and the time we're going to say 7 hours. Then what I'm going to do is put the lid on, and I'm going to give it a bit of a stir at the 4-hour mark, and I'll see you guys in 7 hours. So it's been 7 hours, and here is our amazing beef stew. We're going to add a little bit of corn flour and some water, 2 tablespoons of each, and we're going to mix that in. That's going to thicken up the sauce. We're going to give that a very good stir, and wow, the smell is filling the kitchen. I think my family are going to love this beef stew tonight. They cannot wait to try it out. And look at this, the finished stew. Now, I think we should just get this on a plate and see what it looks like. And here we are. This is our lovely beef stew, perfect for the winter time. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Leave any comments down below if there's any recipes you'd like me to try, especially in the slow cooker. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more future content. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.